How's it going, guys? Today we are in Orlando, Florida at ECD Auto Design, a company that makes bespoke Defenders, E-Types, and Range Rovers with a level of customization I have never seen before. So what is it actually like to build a vehicle of this quality? Well, today we're going to tour the production facility, check out what it's like to spec one out, and take some of these vehicles for a drive.
So this is the first stage of a 2,200-hour process. We have 20 stages in total. From our phones and our iPads, we can see the entire production process. What we've got here is the very first stage where Chris is tearing down the original base vehicle. So this is a base vehicle that will have been imported from the UK, 25 years old. The vehicle will be torn down all the way to the frame, and then that frame will be media blasted. With our engineers, they'll do a repair plan on the frame. Then that frame will be repaired. It'll be re-galvanized, and then we will start the rebuild process from the original frame. So basically giving the original vehicle about another 30 years of life. Each vehicle is not designed by us. There's no cookie cutter off the shelf. Each vehicle is designed by the client with our design team. That normally takes about 6 months for the client to get that locked and loaded, and then each one is unique and one of one, and we start the build process from this point here. This is the tub which we've taken back to bare metal. We'll do a full repair plan in here. The E-Type's slightly different. It doesn't have a tack time like the Defender production line does. So the Defender line is every 4 days. But the E-Type, we let the guys that build the cars. We don't kind of micromanage them. They're the kings of the business. The guys decide how long the E-Type takes because that front end is much more labor intensive. And we will either do repairs on it, or we will buy in original Jaguar parts from the UK, and we'll replace some of the underside of it there as well if we don't do a repair plan. From there, it'll then go into body prep. So this is for the E-Type only. The Defender's slightly different. But the E-Type will go into the body prep area where Alexi will basically take that car, and again, no tack time. He tells us when the car is ready to progress through production. He will do all the repairs, and then he'll take it through a process where we put the primer on, and he'll do 5 layers of taking the grit way down to the finest grit. So he'll go around the car about 5 times to get that perfection in the finish. So yeah, he's repairing the original clamshell there, and then he'll put the epoxy primer on it, and he'll take it through about 5 different stages of prep until we get it ready for paint. So here we are in the main production facility. We have the north line and the south line as the main production lines. The south line is for the Jaguar E-Type, the north line is for the Defenders. 6 stages in the north line. Every car is moving every 4 days. So the first phase is Mike will get the roller from the fabrication team. The original frame, then we will get it as a rolling frame by adding suspension and braking and shocks. But again, every single aspect of the vehicle is customized by the client at this point. So every single one of them is different. So nothing's the same in each car that goes through. Then as we move up to the second phase, this is the exciting part where we install the new heart of the car, which is the drivetrain. So multiple choices here. There's about 9 different drivetrains: LT1, LT4, LS3, LS3565, Cummins diesel, electric, EV generation 2 electric as well. So multiple choices here the client can choose. And here we'll drop the main drivetrain in. We'll run the fuel tanks, we'll run the fuel lines. The air suspension is also getting run here with you can see the air cannon there on the right hand side. Custom made long range fuel tank there. And we have a custom-made radiator at the front as well to cool all of that power and keep the car performing as it should. And then as we're doing that, we have 4 different sub-bays: create it, build it, live it. And then we have the paint shop at the end called the lab. In the electrics bay, what we do is we rebuild the harness to new. So there's about 21 to 30 different sub-harnesses depending what the client sets within the car in customization, and then the main harness is rebuilt where we add all the modern functions and modern tech that clients want in the car, like ventilated seats, wireless charging ports, all that kind of stuff. So we make it a modern day Defender while retaining the character of the original Defender. So these guys will feed all the harnesses to the main production line. As we move to P3, you can see Lewis will be taking those harnesses, and he'll be doing the first fit install. So you can see we're running the main harness now along the skeleton of the vehicle with the drivetrain. Every exhaust is custom, nothing is off the shelf again. The exhaust is customized by the client, so that will be added in this stage as well. So phase 3 is a combination of drivetrain and first fit electrics. While they're doing that in our build it room, we will have the doors being pre-built up. We will build wings in here. For the E-Type, we'll rebuild the front clamshell as well. So anything we can sub-assembly off the line, we'll do here to feed the guys so that we can plug and play it as the car's moving through production. So in effect, you get a brand new door. We take all the old parts out and add new actuators, motors, and electrify the rear windows as well. From there, we'll move to P4. Again, put the quality of the truck in the hands of the guys that build it. The king's the business of the technicians. Let them build the trucks. We'll run the business. So JC is a master of alignment. So JC's running an old plumb line system, but he'll get it more aligned than the laser, I'll promise you that. So JC will do that first fit for body alignment. So the tub will go on first, then the bulkhead, then the T-posts, and then we will put the quarter panels on. So from this part, the car is becoming all together, making sure the alignment's correct, where the last touch will be, we'll put the roof and the doors on so we get that perfect alignment. While that's happening, upholstery will be making all the elements of the vehicle that we need to apply to the car as we're building it. So consoles, door cards, headliners, dashboards, seating. We even had a client once where our customization is so immersed by the client that the client, actually one of our clients, chose a herd of cattle in Italy where they chose a specific leather, which we went through the process of getting leather here via the tannery and adding it to the vehicle. So interiors is a huge part of the client choice that they get immersed in. As we move to P5, which is the final stages of assembly, so the roof has gone on at this point, the glass has gone on at this point, again, uniquely customized to each client based on their specification. So this one's got the pano glass while we still retain the Alpine glass. Carpet, very important, 4 layers of heat and sound protection, keep the heat out of the cabin, keep the noise out of the cabin. Our Defenders are more equal to a modern day Range Rover in terms of in-cabin noise, so much quieter, more refined. At this point, final fit electrics is going in just before the dash. Doors have been hung, all the motors have been built up on the doors, the full body alignment is completed. This car's probably a couple of days away from being finally assembled. And then if we move to P6, we're in the final stages of assembly. And as you can see in P6, you've got a finally finished car. At this point, any technician, again, kings of the business, they can come back. They've got a 4-day window where they can inspect the vehicle. So they'll come back and do all the last minute touch points and quality control checks. They'll log it in our QC check system over the next 4 days. Before the car finally moves across to our QC team, they'll do a comparison inspection and make sure how the guys scored themselves is actually equal to what we expect in terms of quality. Quality is at the heart of the business. Each truck's got about 630 checkpoints, and the QC guy will spend about a day and a half going through each one of those 630 checkpoints before moving it through to final test drives and shipping pre-inspections and work off. We originally thought we could take many of the processes from the Defender and migrate it to the E-Type, but that wasn't really possible. What we did do is we were absolutely able to migrate the skill. So based on the quality of the technicians we have and their autonomy to kind of just figure it out, they basically went over to the E-Type line and they could build the E-Type, but the processes weren't the same. The E-Type is on a 10-day takt time here compared to 4 for the Defender, but it's got no takt time at the front end, so the preparation to get it on the line is a much longer process. But once it gets to the line, we can actually finish it in about 20 days, but in 2 phases. So the skill set is transferable, the process is very different. The reason the process is different is because in the E-Type, we're literally taking the base car, we're dismantling it, we're fully restoring it and putting it fully back together again. With the Defender, we're adding some new elements to it, so it's not the same process. I'd say the LT4 was more challenging than the EV. I mean, we went through a year of learning at the beginning with the LT4 and the EV at the same time. And I think we were originally thinking that the EV would give us more challenges that the LT4 did, just because 650 brake horsepower, when you're putting it in a box and wheels, needs a lot more cooling and a lot more air movement. The EV system is actually relatively simple, and on the Jaguar it's even better because the weight distribution on a 3 battery model compared to 6 in a Defender, the weight distribution of the original is very similar. 2 batteries in the front, 1 in the back. The 1 in the rear equals about the fuel tank full. The 2 in the front is actually not as heavy as the original V12. But again, in the E-Type, yeah, I mean, again, in the E-Type, it's a customer choice. If a client wants the original V12 built, we've done that. So we've rebuilt an original 50-year-old engine. If they want the modern EV platform, we've done that, and we've done LT1 and LT4 in between as well. So it's not like we choose it for them. It's every single option for the client is specific to them. They can choose the needle length for the fuel gauge, the color of that gauge. They can choose the tip point with a different color. They can align, the Brembo brakes that we've designed can be specific to that vehicle, match the seat belts, whatever they want. Typically, I mean, it's as fast or slow as the client wants to go. When you're building a one-on-one dream car, we don't want to push the client as quickly, and we don't want them to go slowly if they want to go quick. So it's built around the client. We have a huge client service team that supports that. The entire time ranges normally from about 8 to 14 months, with about 12 months being the average. In that, about 6 months of it is designing the vehicle, but you can design it as quick as 2 if you want to move really quick and make a lot of decisions quickly, but you can go slower if you wish as well. And then after we get through that 6-month stage of designing, then it's the materials planning of all the materials, and that takes about 3 months to get everything overseas and to here. So then we're about month 9, and then it takes between 100 and 120 days to put the vehicle through the production plant. But we're even fluid with our clients at that point, because many times it'll be in production, the client will see something in one of our videos or a YouTube video where they want to change something, and we can be fairly fluid as well.
So we are here with Elliot now in the design studio, checking out some of the finished products. Yes. It was really cool seeing the production facility and how they're actually built. I feel like, not that these aren't incredibly impressive to look at when they're done, but seeing the level of care, the level of customizability of them and the process is pretty unbelievable.
So here we've got a Defender 110. So this is fully restored, fully rebuilt by ACD all the way through. This is a 650 horsepower supercharged Chevrolet LT4. It has an 8-speed automatic transmission from Chevrolet, and then that's mated to the Land Rover LT230 transfer case. So we have proper Land Rover 4-wheel drive, and then we've got heavy-duty Land Rover diffs, axles. Upgraded braking is Brembo, so this is running Brembo brakes. So it's a 6-piston front, 4-piston rear, and we also have fully adjustable air suspension on this truck.
And so there's a ton of engine options, right? You can go fully electric. You can have a Cummins diesel.
Yep, we offer the R2.8 diesel. We've got LS3, we've got LT1, LT4, EV. We have done some original motors for people. It's not my favorite, but we can refurbish original motors as well. But in the Defenders, the LTs are very popular, and it's the latest gen Chevy. So. And
that's an electric one back there? Can we check that out?
So back here, so this is a fully electric direct drive. So we didn't do what a lot of companies do, where they'll sort of mate a electric motor to a gearbox, and you're sort of driving in 3rd and 5th. I hate that. So we went proper. So it's direct drive. Still goes through a Land Rover transfer case. So you've got Land Rover 4-wheel drive ability still. You've got, selectable 2- and 4-wheel drive. We also have locking center diffs, locking front and rear diffs if needed as well.
Wow, this interior is incredible.
Yeah, so all to customer spec. So obviously people can put these in any color, any leathers, any materials they want. This looks pretty cool. I like the red and the tan on this thing. And then with our EVs as well, we do a lot to try and integrate them, so it feels like a new vehicle that was designed to have EV. So we do have a user interface which is connected to the system, so you actually have some real engagement and control with the EV system. So if you look on the screen, we can tap onto vehicle here, and we've got options in here for cruise control. We've got drive mode where we have eco, normal, sport. People can turn regen braking on and off, because some people like it, some people don't. And we even have a little feature which is idle creep. So it drives like a V8. So if you're in a car park and you just let off the brake, it'll creep forward and act like a normal car, rather than just sitting dead still.
And for the seats, there's multiple different seat options, leather colors, stitching, pretty much everything you can imagine.
We offer some old Land Rover seats, so new versions of the original seats refurbished. We have pretty much the full range of Corbeau seats that fit these vehicles, and then a selection of Recaros as well. And then if you need any more information, it's in the central system. So we can go in and we can look at energy, and we can look at the monitor system and see where it's pulling, what the voltage is at. You can pretty much get all the information you need from here.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And is this a GM
It's actually an
Rear view.
aftermarket rear view camera. We found these guys at SEMA the other year, and
cool.
it's a pretty nice product.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it works well. We found that when you've got people in the back of Defenders, it pretty much blocks your entire view. So we just went with their camera. And the nice thing is we
back here.
got it on the outside as well. And yeah, he's got all oak wood in the back, so it's pretty nice.
Wow. Yeah, let's open the back up. Wow, and these doors feel so solid when you close them.
So this obviously being the soft top has the split.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's what I've got with it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so in the 90 we have to house 2 batteries in the load area because the chassis is just not long enough to accommodate them underneath. In the 110 and 130, they actually remove from here and they go under the truck.
Gotcha.
So you get a load of cabin space back.
What's the most common model? A 110 or a 90?
110.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. In our 90s, they're normally soft tops. 110s tend to be station wagons.
Sure.
And then because you can get a lot of seating in them. So we're like 7 to 9 seats in a 110, which is pretty popular.
And we're going to be taking out one of these in a different video, but if you don't mind, could you walk me through a little bit on the E-Type? I know this one in particular is a original V12 that's kind of been heavily redone.
Yeah, so this is a 73, 1973 Jaguar E-Type Series 3. This was actually a customer car. It was his own car, and he sent it in to have it refurbished with us. We took the original numbers matching V12,
Wow.
put it in a crate, sent it back to England to a good supplier that we know and a good engine rebuilder. And they tuned that from, I think they start at like 280 horsepower.
Yeah, 272,
We got
I
it
think.
closer to 400. I think it ended up at like 375, something like that. But it's fuel injected now as well with a Bosch
Is that
system.
5-speed manual, 6-speed manual?
It's a Tremec 5-speed manual.
Very
So
cool.
we adapted the Tremec down, got it from another race supplier in England. But it drives really nice. I've not had a great deal of time in this one yet, but like soon I'll be out test driving this car.
Cool exhaust as well. So I guess the exhaust setups are very configurable as well. This one has the center design. It's a split dual exhaust tip.
Right, the fantail is very popular.
Yeah, it looks really
like
nice.
The quad fantail is nice looking. So that seems to be the most popular. And we can do that when we do a LT engine in there or a Jag engine. We'll adapt it somewhere up the car so you don't see it and it just looks stock Jaguar from the...
And then what are the motors in these? Are any of these electric or?
No, so we've got an original V12 here.
Okay.
This is another Series 3, similar to this one. And then we've got a Series 2, this is Series 1. And this has an inline 6.
Very
So
cool.
this is an original Jag inline 6.
So we're here with John now, and we're going to go over what the process is like actually building and customizing one of these.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great to have you, of course, Parker.
Thank you.
Just to give an overview of what our clients experience, of course, and go through, we have a very fluid design process where myself and Tyler in the background there,
How's it going?
Senior graphic designer, will help them kind of hone in their ideas until we find the right mix of all the ingredients they're looking for to capture their vision, of course. What you can see here is a sample of different things that we cover with them as well. Once that we go through some of the mechanical selections and accessories and such, we also are going to send them paint samples, some of the leathers, of course, and this is just a limited selection, of course, that we're showing you, but truly the sky's the limit. You know, if there's something that they want to do very specific, if they want to match a color of a purse, if they wanted to do something that is out of the ordinary, we can also accommodate that. We have our own paint shop as well, and our vendors for leathers, of course, have limitless supply of different things that we can use for these as well. Now, when we go through our process, and I'll tell you probably 90% of the people are doing these in a remote basis. We do generally a Zoom call, although we encourage folks to come out here. But that way we can go through all of these. I'll share this information so they go through the selection for engine types, transmission, off-road elements on the car, of course the different powertrains that I was showing you, even our electric setup is here. So those are things that we can modify on the fly for them as they're making their selections through the meeting. The cool thing about it is that we have total flexibility. So until they say, okay, I'm done, this is great, we can mold this around, send them all the information they need to make sure they're making the right decisions. So like I said before, you know, suspension components, braking, all of this stuff will be encompassed right here, even the type of exhaust they want to have. And we can even fine tune it to have the right purr or sound they're looking for as well. Those are the kind of things that we can do in here. And so you might see out there on the screen, as we are talking, Tyler is already modifying some of the elements in the car, whether you want to have a different bumper style with a winch, you want to have lettering on the hood saying Defender, you don't want that, you want a rack. But tell me about your car. If you were to build one, what color do you think it would be, and what are some of the things you would like to add to it?
That is an incredible question, because after hearing that you can do anything in the world with these cars, I've been trying to think about that.
Yeah, yeah.
My first thought, and it might look absolutely terrible, is I have a dark purple McLaren.
Oh,
and I'm just
nice.
Curious
Well, I just
what
wrote
a
McLaren.
deep purple. See, yeah, that looks a little bit like Barney.
Maybe we can make it a little deeper there. Tyler, what do you think? Can we make that just a tad deeper there? You know, we actually have done we did a truck in
that looks pretty cool, actually.
That wasn't too far from there.
Really?
And it looked fantastic, actually. So, again, it's
That actually looks kind of cool.
exactly beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So again,
Yeah, I'm about to design the worst looking Defender you guys have ever built.
not such thing. I'm sure that we can work with that and make it amazing as well.
I was looking on your online configurator. Is there a wide-bodied option?
Yeah, what the wide body is just a little bit more aggressive fender
Sure.
flares. It doesn't change the dimensions of the car.
Okay, gotcha.
But it does make it a little bit more chiseled, if you will. It's got those indentations around and these rivets. Again, for folks that are looking perhaps for a more modern styling, a little more muscular feel to the car, we can do that, of course. And that's something that we can show the client in the slim body or the wide body, so they can determine which version they prefer to go with.
Oh, it looks pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So what is this here on the table? This is
Well,
a door hinge?
Yes. One thing that we love to do is once the base vehicle arrives, we tear it down completely and we save a piece, usually a door hinge on the fenders, so they can have something to remember the old truck by. So we'll ship them this before they even take delivery of the vehicle. And also besides that, we have this really cool history book, if you will, where it tells you a little bit the story of the car, how it looked, of course, once it's done, and also how it came about.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, and you see the entire process, of course, broken down in here up until the end. And this is personalized, of course, to each build.
That is really special.
People really love
Yeah.
that. Absolutely, absolutely. And some of the things, of course, that we want to make sure that even though you see the rendering and it's great, there's nothing like having a proper sample
Sure.
at home. So you can actually play with your leather selection and just make sure that whatever you're working with is really coming together in a nice way. So some folks will go with a glossy finish, what you see there. We can even change the element on the paint. Of course, if you want to have more of an eggshell or satin finish, or you want to have a full matte, dry style. Some folks are going for that military look, and they want to have maybe something like a green in that matte finish that looks fantastic too. So again, we've done, I mean, everything that you can possibly imagine in terms of styling over time. And now that we're over 500 cars over the last decade and plus, of course, we can always reference back to other things that we've done. And of course, we utilize our showcase quite a bit as well, because our clients can see all of these vehicles being built before and kind of help get inspiration from those as well. So between that and our configuration and the materials and everything else that we're doing, we'll make sure that we nail it every time.
We're working on different caliper options for different colors. The white almost looked kind of cool. I think maybe in reality that would get dirty really fast and wouldn't actually look great, but on a screen it might look cool.
On the practical side of things,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to kind of keep them different, but at the same time, you know, the most clean version of them, probably black, or if you want to match the purple, of course, we can do that as well, as we were talking about. If you decide to do a color matching brake set, it'll look fantastic. It really looked like it came that way from the factory.
And are there different brake options,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
upgraded brakes and?
Absolutely, and we also do that since we have our standard engines, of course, and we have the ability to upgrade. If you wanted to go to a 640 horsepower LT4 V8 supercharged, we'd probably recommend going with the Brembo brakes that are more performance oriented. You can see not only do they look
The black
aggressive,
fenders look nice.
yeah, but they also do the job, of course.
And are there different wheel options?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. What
These
you see-
actually look really good, these wheels.
These are our ECD custom wheels that come in black satin. You can change, of course. We have probably
With the floating no wheels, that's good.
20 different options for wheels and different things that you
Wow.
can select. So, and then of course, if you like the look of a certain wheel, but you prefer to have it painted silver, or you want to have something different, or to match the body color, we can do all that stuff, of course, as well. Make it more comfortable to the passengers in the back. Additional cup holders, additional speakers. In the back, of course, if you prefer to have no seats for enhanced cargo space, or if you want to do 2 traditional benches instead of 4 jumping seats. All those things, of course, we'll discuss, and we truly listen to what our clients need. So if you're the type of person that you will never have anyone back there, just want something to look nice, maybe we just do a couple of benches in the back.
Sure.
You know, because they're a little bit more narrow, of course, more, and they don't take a whole lot of space, but at the same time, the jump seats that you see there will give you much better support for a proper seat that way. So again, it's all depending on what the client wants and needs, and of course, we can always mold that around, and if they want to see multiple versions of their interior as well as the exterior, we can always play with those elements until we capture the right one for them.
Is there an option, like we toured the 90 over here that had wood in the back?
Yes.
Can you do that in a 110?
Of course. It's going to show you right here.
Oh,
how
very
we're
cool.
popping that
Yeah,
in.
that is awesome.
And of course, we have all kinds of different stains and finishes. So if you want something like that, or with metal washers as well to make it slightly more elegant, we can also do metal railing. And you know, we did a truck that had this black vintage
that looks
wood in the
cool.
back that looks stunning. And we, of course, we can complement some of that with a wooden steering wheel, or add some hydro dip accents inside the car to kind of bring it all together very nicely for them as well.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Now, even the gauges, of course, we have 18 standard gauge sets.
Wow.
You know, and then, of course, if someone wants to match their exterior body color to the gauges, we can custom paint them. If they want the needles to be orange, per se, or the letters to be a certain color as well, we can work all around as well.
And so there's virtually limitless exterior color options. Same with the interior?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, what we have here is just a small sample. Usually the way we go about it is we ask clients what type of color tones they're looking for, whether it's, you know, light tan, medium tan, dark tan, or black, gray, etc. And we normally try to find a good 3 or 4 samples within that
Sure.
region, so they can really make a decision. And whether it's textures, like I was telling you, you know, what's something that is a little bit more pebbled, more like an elephant skin type of leather, or something that is much smoother like this. All the options, of course, are
Wow.
there for them.
I'm not even buying this, and I'm excited about this process. So I imagine if you were sitting here and that was about to be your car in 9 to 12 months,
You got
it would be unbelievable.
No, it's a lot of
Experience.
fun, and that's what it's meant to be. You know, for clients to be involved in the process, but at the same time, have really a lot of fun while doing it.
And I got to say, this guy's talented, because my idea at first was a little bit aggressive, and it's come out pretty cool.
I tell you, we can work with anything you throw at us and make it look good.
And then, I mean, you can even have copper brake
Plating.
pedals.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Parker.
Well, guys, there you have it. What an incredible experience. In the next video, we're going to be taking multiple of these vehicles out for a drive, and I can't wait to do so. I've got more information down in the description below for ECD Auto Design. If you're interested in buying one of these, it seriously is a really cool process, and you're gonna join a very awesome family. All right, guys, see you next video.